What up, good people? This is your man DJ YM, and I'm your new favorite DJ. And welcome to the Rally Point, where always I'm joined by my lovely co-host, my best friend in the world, Miss Lady Jae. Miss Lady Jae, what's good?
What's good, E? Let's get it. It's another good day.
I hope so, Jay. And you know what I say? Every day above ground is a good day because it's another day to be able to do something different. All right, Miss Lady Jae, Miss Lady Jae, Miss Lady Jae. I got a couple topics that I want to talk to you about. Two of which, unfortunately, are kind of heavy, right? I want to start with a situation that I saw in Texas, right? Um, for lack of a better word, it was a young man. It looked like he had a AR of some sort. Maybe it was a AK. I couldn't really tell from the picture because the people were trying to get away from him, trying not to catch none of what he was trying to do. And he killed a man in broad daylight. And I did one of your moves, which I shouldn't have. And there are two rolling theories that I saw. One of the theories was that he killed him over a cell phone. And the second theory was he caught his baby mama with her sneaky link, and he killed the man in broad daylight, Jay. Like I don't know what more to say about that. Like that's nuts to me. In broad daylight, man, you couldn't have followed them or something. Like, not to say I'm trying to give people ways of committing crime, but you couldn't have waited until kids was out of there and everything was everything. Like, in broad daylight, where people are recording you, bro. Like, this is what we out here doing. You know what I mean? And this is the side of gun violence that the Democrats hang their hats on, right? To where us law-abiding citizens who do what they're supposed to do with their privately owned weapon systems, and have them acquired properly, because some places don't require registration. This is the type of stuff that we have to deal with. We get people doing foolishness and malfeasance with these acquired weapon systems, acquired guns. And it ends up in situations like this. And now this will be the next poster for gun control, right? The problem that I have with gun control is that it restricts the citizen, because criminals gonna do what criminals gonna do anyway. A criminal gonna criminal. That like let's just call it what it is. You know what I mean? But that's not to say I'm one of those who doesn't think that there should be some more form of regulation, not necessarily registration, but some more form of regulation when it comes to being able to acquire these weapons. You know what I mean? It's sad, man. And then the people who were there to see it, even sadder. And then the people who are going to be traumatized by seeing a video posted like this on social media, it's even worse, right? But have we as a society become so desensitized to gun violence that it's just like, it's just another Tuesday? Is that what's going on with this video, Jay? I mean, tell me what you think.
Yeah, we have been. We have been slowly becoming desensitized to all of it. It's even when we have a mass school shooting, it doesn't matter whether it's college, high school, or even a grade school. It's, oh, well, where did that happen? Like, at this point, we're so desensitized to it, because I remember when the Columbine shooting happened, it was just like, what is going on? And now when you hear about it, it's like, oh, another one. And it's to the point where they happen so often, they're not even reporting them, because it's just almost no way to keep up with it. And when something like this happens, the only thing that makes this shocking is that they got it on tape, and it was broad daylight, and it was just so cold and so callous.
Yeah,
But
it
in
definitely
truth,
was.
if we being honest, being from where we're from, that happens all the time.
It does, Jay. And it's funny that you mentioned how, when it comes to school shootings, how desensitized we are. Because one of my favorite TV shows is South Park, right? Now they have their foolishness in South Park, but they also provide a social commentary on South Park. And there was an episode where um I think it was Stan's mom was going off about school shootings, like, yo, like everybody else was like, oh, it's just another Tuesday. And she going off about school shootings, like, yo, what are y'all talking about? Somebody just lost their life in school and nobody's up in arms about it. And the whole town was kind of like, it just kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I like South Park so much, because, even though they have their foolishness that I like with South Park, they also provide social commentary about how people are actually looking at different situations. Because I think back to when the pandemic was at its height, right? And everybody's wearing masks, and we're doing all we can for social distancing, and the way that they satirized it was people being able to wear pajamas, right? And then now all of a sudden you were an outcast if you didn't have pajamas on. You know what I mean? Like, just different social commentaries like that, is why I watch South Park. As a kid it was just funny, but now as an adult, I still watch it from time to time, and I can understand and relate the social commentary with when it comes to South Park. Um, I just think they need to throw his ass under the jail, Jay. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. You know what I mean? They need to throw him underneath the jail, under it. You understand what I'm saying? Under the jail, no bail, no nothing. Keep your butt in jail. You know what I mean? Because for you to just be so evil and callous with something like that, that's where you need to be. And they got a warm place in hell for you. Because in my opinion, there's almost nothing that I think I believe, almost nothing to require a response like that. There are a few things that I won't mention right now today, but there are a few things that will drive a response like that for me. But one, it wouldn't be a phone, and two, it wouldn't be a sneaky link. You know what I mean? So,
I
Jay,
mean, to be honest, I can't imagine what would cause a reaction like that.
from me,
I'm saying from me,
oh,
it outside of it being so I guess it's the other part, like looking at the type of weapon that it is. I'm thinking to myself, if my child was in danger,
uh huh,
something like that. And even in that, like I'm mindful. I think about this all the time. You know how, my kids, they so sick of me because when we go out, you know how I am. I'm not just sitting anywhere. I'm paying
right,
attention, all of that. And I think about it all the time. How would I want to react? How would I want my kids to be okay? And I think about traumatizing them.
right,
And with this situation, of course, I saw the video too. I went to the comments and somebody said that she should be in jail too because she called him, meaning the shooter, that's her boyfriend, to deal with her baby daddy. And I'm like, as I'm thinking about, I'm like, this is why it is so hard, and women do not understand why men don't want to deal with women who have children,
mm-hmm,
because that dynamic is always dangerous. It's always dangerous. And I remember you and I were having a conversation. I don't know if it was yesterday or no, not me and you. I was talking to somebody else. Brain freeze. So I was talking to someone. I was saying how I remember my daddy telling me, well, he was talking to my brothers, and I happened to be present. If you see a man and a woman getting into it, call the police. You do not intervene. In most cases, she will now be angry with you. and they will both start fighting you. You can easily lose your life.
We had that
And
conversation too, Jay, because I was talking about how in a domestic violence situation, if me being a first responder on scene, I am to separate them. So we had that conversation too.
yeah, I mean, and outside of traffic stops, domestic responses are one of the most dangerous situations that police can ever be in. And people don't get that. Like
Right.
it's a very volatile situation.
Very much so.
And just something just that out of the way went left and so far left. It's like, everybody's talking about being desensitized, but the truth of the matter is we are, because the video is all on Facebook, and how they got around the algorithm, they put it in the comments instead of posting it directly to somebody's page.
Right.
And the sad part is, in one of the second videos, this young man is still just laying out there. Is paramedics on scene. Nobody's taking the time to even cover him up. And it bothers me so badly because that's somebody's child.
Yeah.
That's somebody's child. And if nothing else, they saying that's her baby daddy that the boyfriend shot. So you got a child, at least one child with this man. You think this child is never going to see this video footage? His family got to see that.
I mean, it's rough, Jay. That one was rough. You know what I mean? And you know, with a lot of these situations, it's kind of like whatever because of some of the things I've seen, but that one was rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That one was rough.
We talking about all of the atrocities that's happening overseas. This stuff happening right here. Yeah. I remember when they were talking about how we were getting all of this footage when they were taking American hostages and shooting them, execution style, and when they were, decapitating people. And I'm like, it's happening right here, and we not even moved. And in the comments, like, it's some people that had very crass comments about it. Like, well, I guess disrespect, like it's okay to just take somebody's life over a phone. A phone? Yeah. Regardless of what was in the phone. I mean, they were saying maybe it had child porn on it, maybe it had any, regardless of what was on the phone, was it that serious to take somebody's life? And if it's that serious, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I mean, Jay, there's only one, maybe two situations that I can think of that I was to see some information on the phone and would drive a response like that from me, but that's crazy, Jay. And then, there's another situation in Sarasota, Florida, right? Where there was this young man, I'm unsure of his age, but he looks to be around Deja's age, walking in his neighborhood in Sarasota, and he literally had a convoy of people following him in the neighborhood, right? And if you pay attention closely to the end of the vehicle, it could have been another Trayvon Martin situation. This dude legit went in his car, retrieved his gun from the car, and was going after his dude. And one of his homeboys was like, yo, 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 yo. You know what I mean? To keep him from going up to the young man with the gun. But it's like,
why was it that serious and he wasn't doing nothing?
Jay, I don't have an answer. I wish I watched the video a few times, and the people were talking about, oh, well, do you live in a neighborhood, and what are you doing here, and so on and so forth. And dude, like, yo, none of your business. You know what I mean? Which is his right, but his rights almost cost him his life, and it just seems to be getting crazy. Like, as much as they want to say we are a modernized and post-racial society, we continue to see situations like this over and over again, where it continues to show us that we're not. Because everything I saw in the video, you know what I mean? I'm sure there were some things that happened prior to the camera starting to roll, right? But everything I saw in the video, the dude just walking up the street, and this convoy, because they were legit on. It was one guy on a bike, it was another guy, two other guys in a car. It was another guy walking behind the kid. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, I know, Jay. You know, it's Wednesday, and you know I try to keep it on the up and up. And you know these are two heavy topics back to back. But Jay, it's like this is what's really going on, man. And I can't just report on all the foolishness. I got to talk about you know stuff like this too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's the frustrating part about it when we're not doing anything but just trying to live life.
Right.
And what was the reason? What was the reason?
Essentially, from what I gathered from the video, they were questioning him about him belonging in their neighborhood. That's what it looked like to me. You know, needless to say, it was a black man and it was white men following him. And then one dude piped up and says, "Oh, and you talk to my wife some type of way." And you know, the dude he was I won't say antagonistic, but he was like, "Yo, what? Quit following me. I've already told you I belong in the area. Leave me alone." You know what I mean? That was essentially his response to the guys. And the dude didn't like that answer, and he went to his car and got his weapon out of his car. And it's like, bro, that's really what we doing? Like, and here it is, another situation where a quote unquote law abiding citizen is getting ready to do something foolish with his gun. And had his friends not been out there, this probably would have been a different situation. It would have been a far different situation. You know, and
I'm just over it. Like I'm just so I just don't understand why people think that this is okay.
Jay, there's something that we've had conversation about quite a few times, right? And you've said this to me more times than I can remember. And it's not about color per se, it's more about privilege. And I believe that this is a situation where they believe that he didn't have the right to be in their neighborhood because of their privilege. I mean, it's sickening. It's sickening to continue to see this, but it's just another Tuesday at this point. Just another damn Tuesday. And I hope that we as a people don't get so desensitized to these situations that we start to ignore them. Because ain't nobody coming for us. You know what I mean? The cavalry ain't coming for us. We all we got. And on some level, we need to understand that we all we got. Because if we don't, what's going to end up happening is we'll continue to go further and further and further and further down the quote unquote totem pole of society. With these situations, Jay, I mean, it's just to the point now where it's just I don't know what to say.
What needs to be said is, as much as we talk about gun control, I think two things are true. If we had life insurance and more of us were licensed to carry weapons, a lot of this mess will stop.
I agree.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I agree. Well, Jay, on to a lighter topic. How about them Bears, Jay? What? What that Justin Fields, man? Not Justin.
You really know how to cheer me up, don't you? Talking about my Bears.
That Caleb Williams. We talking about Justin too, though. But that Caleb Williams trying to look good out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like every week, the dudes seem to get better and better. And before anybody comes after me, I understand that the teams that we've played haven't necessarily been the best teams in the league, right? But I look at the Houston game, and Caleb had a horrible game against Houston, but we only lost by less than a touchdown, right? Our defense is on point as per usual, right? Our defense is on point, but you know, the offense was kind of sputtering, but man, the offense, 30, 35 in one game, 36 in the other game in back-to-back weeks. They said that hasn't happened for the Chicago Bears during um the entire since the Super Bowl era. That the Bears have scored like that on just offense, not with defensive help, with just offense having more than 35 points in two consecutive weeks. That's crazy to me. It is rough being a Bears fan, but it is nice to look and see like maybe finally they got it figured out, Jay. And Ryan Poles we trust. Cause Ryan Poles had put this team together, and man, look forward to it. But you know what's crazy, Jay? The NFC North is a bloodbath. We are 4-2 and are currently sitting in last place in the NFC North. The Vikes are 5-0. The Lions are 4-1. That team up north is 4-2, and we're 4-2. But we're going into a bye week. Hopefully, when we come back to play Washington, you know what I mean? They don't have that, yeah, we good. Nah, y'all still got work to do because Jaden Daniels playing ball in Washington. That's all I'm gonna say. Their defense may not be as good, but Jaden Daniels is playing ball in Washington right now. And there were some people with buyer's remorse because Jaden Daniels was playing so well and Caleb Williams wasn't necessarily playing so well. But in my opinion, Washington really ain't played nobody. You know what I mean? And then when they played Baltimore, they caught that L against Baltimore.
Against who?
Baltimore.
What?
You heard what I said. Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's how we saying it. Okay.
That's how I say it.
All right.
Baltimore.
All right.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, I'm just saying, man, like Caleb looking good. The offense is finally looking like they're starting to get it together. The biggest worry I had about the team was the defensive line. Because I'm like, man, outside of Montez Sweat, who do we have? You know what I mean? I think his name's Javonte Davis. He didn't came out. He balling. You know what I'm saying? We got the kid from Kansas. They said he should have stayed in another year. I can't think of his name, but they said he should have stayed in college another year. He probably would have been a first round pick. He was like, no, I'm out. I'm going to the league. And he balling. You know what I mean? The linebackers are linebackering. You understand what I'm saying? The secondary is good. Like, man, the defense. I think that we got a top 5 defense this year. We may not be the number 1 defense in the league, but I think we're top 5. And we've had the most takeaways in the last 11 weeks than any other team in the NFL. I think the monsters of the Midway are coming back. I ain't saying they back yet, but they coming.
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic, but here's the thing. I'm a diehard Bears fan anyway, whether we winning or losing. My Bears.
It's been rough being a Bears fan, though, Jay. It's been rough.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, that it comes with the territory. I know a lot of people were giving Caleb Williams a hard time, and they did the same thing with Justin Fields. I had this conversation with a friend on yesterday about Russell Wilson maybe starting instead of him. And
yeah, I was going there next, Jay. You done stole my thunder, but go ahead.
Bad.
It's cool.
My bad. But it's kind of like there's really no reason for Russell Wilson not to. Like, it's not like he bad, but we knew what it was. Here's the thing. People like a proven winner.
Right.
And at this point, people still kind of looking at Justin Fields like, but it's still people that's kind of like
4-2 this year.
I mean, but it's again like people are so it's like, but are you though? They want to see consistency. At this point, it's still overall it's inconsistent. He's inconsistent. But like I was telling my homie yesterday, I was like, I wasn't one of those people that felt like he was going to be the savior of the Bears. I think it could have worked out. But the truth of the matter is, and I compare him to MJ, I'm like, as great as Michael Jordan was, you got to have the right people in place. You got to have a proper team around, and you got to have a coach. I just feel like it wasn't a good fit with Justin Fields being in Chicago because he didn't have the right team around him,
Right.
nor the right coach. You got to have somebody that's going to be able to push you in a positive way that's going to bring out your skill set, and
Yeah.
it just never actually gel, and it wasn't necessarily it was kind of like it was
It
just
was just a bad situation because
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
because
honestly, I still had hope, and I liked him,
yeah.
but we already know with that money now, the money side of the house, they did the
Uh-huh.
right thing,
They
but
did. But
it would have
honestly,
been
Jay,
nice.
I think I hope that Mike Tomlin doesn't sit Justin Fields. I understand at the beginning of the season he told, he came out to the media and said, "Hey, yeah, we got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but Russell Wilson is the starter. There will be no competition. Russell Wilson is the starter, right?" And he's kept true to that. And it is not even so much the swap of the draft pick, right? Because if Justin plays more than 51% of the snaps, the Chicago Bears will receive a fourth round pick from the Steelers. If he plays less than 51% of the snaps, the Chicago Bears would only get a sixth round pick from the Steelers. It's not even so much the draft pick though. For me, like I like Justin, and when he came with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy,
Mhm.
it was rough, Jay, because they were on the way out. And I can't believe the McCaskies allowed Ryan Pace to trade up to get Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Like they on the way out. You know what I mean? Most of the successful tandems of GM, coach, quarterback are all there together and they live and die together, right? And then they draft Justin right after getting Andy Dalton, and then it's like, no, Andy Dalton's the starter, and then you don't give Justin any first team reps in the preseason, and then you throw him in there and he gets murdered. And then his second year, like if I'm being honest with you, Jay, the only reason why I watched the Bears year before last when we went what do we go 2-17, I thought, or 2-17, 2-15.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I even watched the Bears is because Justin was close to breaking the rushing record for a quarterback. He was the only reason to watch the Chicago Bears during that time. And then of course last year I was all on the bandwagon. I'm like, yo, this is year, this gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? We got DJ Moore, you know what I'm saying? And he had a great connection with DJ Moore, but it just didn't get over the hump for Justin in Chicago, man. And I like what Ryan Poles did for Justin. He basically said, yo, tell me where you want to go and I'm going to try to get you there. And Pittsburgh was where he wanted to go. That almost never happens in any professional sport. For him to basically say, yo, I think it was more or less like, yo, we did you wrong. Thanks for being a good sport. We're going to try to get you somewhere where you can be successful. And, Pittsburgh was one of the places that he wanted to go, and they were able to get him to Pittsburgh because reports were like there were a couple teams offering third round picks for Justin, and Justin didn't want to go there. And then Pittsburgh made an offer, and, I'm sure that was a tough pill to swallow, to only get a fourth round pick or a conditional fourth round pick for Justin. But that says, to me, that says a lot about Ryan Poles. I mean, about Poles. That says a lot about him as a GM. You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that Tomlin doesn't sit Justin.
Does it though?
It does, Jay.
Why y'all just didn't do right by the boy?
I mean, they were, because like if we're being honest, when Ryan Poles came in, they were rebuilding because you remember they got rid of Khalil Mack, they got rid of Roquan Smith, they got rid of Quinn, I can't think of his first name. That you gone. And they were tearing down the team. You know what I mean? And he legit tore down the team and put people, got whoever he can get. We even went into the waiver wire heavy. Got whoever we can get to put a team on the field. You know what I mean? Made some great trades, made some great drafts. And they were tearing down the team. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, yeah, we want to get you there, but we got to tear it down, and we got to tear it down the right way. You know what I mean? Because the patchwork job that we have been doing with Ryan Pace, it just didn't work. You know what I mean? And I get the year we got Khalil Mack, the double doink with Cody Parkey. You know, I don't even think he in the NFL no more. You know, double doink. I know Chicago fans. I know it's a heartbreaker. But the patchwork job that we have been doing over the past 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Since Lovey, so that's what, 10 years ago. The patchwork we've been,
and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Now that right there was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was one of the worst decisions, because it ain't like he had like a really bad record. Like, y'all just,
as it stands today, Lovey is still. I think he still is the only. It has the highest winning percentage out of any Chicago coach. Lovey
I'm
Smith.
like, at this point, I want to know what the real deal is behind that. I'm like, something had to go down.
The defense was amazing, but the offense, he couldn't get a coordinator in there to get the offense right. And that was really around the time when, you know, that's the big transition in the NFL where, you know, everybody wants this high powered offense and Lovey couldn't get it. You know what I mean? Lovey couldn't get a coordinator in there to get our offense together, but also we never really had a quarterback. But hopefully all that is over with Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? I hope that Caleb is the player that he looked to be when he was at Oklahoma and USC. And then I'm like a double fan because he was a Sooner. You know, I'm a Oklahoma Sooner fan, so you know, a Sooner to a Bear, you know, he got to be good.
Oh, okay.
Lord,
that's what we going with.
All right, Miss Lady Jae, you know what time it is. I know what time it is. We know what time it is. It's time to find out if Miss Lady Jae been cussing with Miss Lady Jae's trying not to cuss. So you better not have been cussing, Miss Lady Jae.
Oh, I better not have been.
How'd you do, Jay? How'd you do?
I think I did pretty okay. I think I did under the circumstances. It was a cussable offense, but I didn't cuss. I think
what,
the Lord...
Jay, you didn't cuss. You didn't cuss. Look at you. Look at you. Don't be looking like that. You know them horns was coming. I'm proud of you. One more horn for you. Because that's 2 days in a row you ain't cussed, Jay. Jay, I'm proud of you, man. You my best friend. I don't need no help, Jay. I'm proud of you.
Oh,
so would you rather me sit here and be like, all right, Jay, you didn't cuss. Good for you. Next. Is that what you prefer?
Oh, I want you to be, you know.
I'm excited and I'm proud of you for not cussing. So tell me the story, Jay. What happened?
Lord. So I decided to cook. I don't know why, but I did.
Here you go.
And I did.
Cause Jay, when you say I decided to cook, that ain't just some hot dogs and French fries. You finna, you know, tear down the kitchen and use up all the seasonings and stuff.
Something like that.
Uh-huh.
So I made some oxtail stew.
I told you. See, I ain't know what you cooked, and I knew you did something. I knew it. But I'm listening.
And I made, so you know, I had made so I had like some tricolor peppers in the refrigerator, and I was like, oh, these gonna go bad.
Tricolor peppers.
Right. Bell peppers, like the big ones.
I know. So but people like, don't call them tricolor. I have tricolored peppers.
But that's what they are.
People usually say, yeah, I had some red and some yellow and some green bell peppers.
Okay. Well, I keep telling you I'm not from this planet, so I'm not a person of this planet. But anyway, so I decided to cut them in half. I'm like, oh, I'm going to stuff these, right? Because I had
oxtail stew and stuffed peppers. And
bell
I just stuffed bell peppers. I just decided to cook just a little bit. That ain't a little
because
bit.
I didn't want them to go bad.
Okay. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell me about this wonderful meal you prepared that I can't get none of.
So at first, when baby girl came home, you know, because she had like after school practice and all of this other kind of stuff, she came in. So it rained here yesterday. And she came in and she was like, Mom, I'm cold. I had a bad day. I said, oh, come on in. And I put my baby under the little blanket. And then she's like, oh, it smells so good. She's like, ooh, oxtails. I'm like, how you know what that is? She was like, I know what smells good. Uh-huh. So I'm going to make the little food. And I said, I don't know if this going to be ready. I'm going to cook this real, real, real slow. So I told her I was gonna make her some nachos. So my nachos ain't regular nachos. I use like Doritos. And
Uh-huh.
then I make the cheese sauce from scratch, right?
Uh-huh. You make some upscale colored nachos with Doritos. You supposed to get some good chips, but they kind of upscale because you did something with the cheese.
But so my baby, she liked the Doritos,
I mean,
and
it's
it's
fine.
fine.
It's fine. It's
So
cool.
I don't know. I forgot about making the nachos. So she
Oh.
goes to sleep on the couch.
Uh-huh.
She wakes up and I'm like, you want to taste the stuff of the bell peppers that I'm putting in? Cause I mixed the ground beef and the Italian sausage, and I'm like doing like, I can't just I got issues. Don't mind me. Like I got big back issues. It's okay.
Uh-huh. I
She
know.
like, no, I want nachos. And I'm like, nachos. I was so angry. Really? Really?
Jay, I don't know what you're looking for from me, but
Really? This what she
okay.
wanted. And so I'm like
Uh-huh.
really trying to figure this out. Cause I'm gonna do it with like the ground chuck, like,
Right.
And then I'm like, girl, I'm
Go
not
ahead,
about to
Chef
do.
Jay. Tell me about it. I'm hungry. Where my plate
I
at?
ain't do it. So we made a happy medium.
What was that happy medium?
Oxtail tacos.
Lord. All right, Jay. Here you go. Here you go. Order in the court. Order in the court. YM is getting ready to pass his verdict on one Miss Lady Jae on her not cussing. Order in the court. What I'm gonna say to you, Miss Lady Jae, what am I finna say? Since you know me so well, what am I finna say?
That was not a cussable offense because I spoiled her.
You damn right. That was not a
It
cussable
was.
offense,
I should've.
and you didn't cuss. So therefore, I'm proud of you, Jay. What you cussing about that for?
Cause I'm like, girl, really some doggone nachos.
Jay, but here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like every cat knows its kitten, every kitten knows its cat, right? And she know when you in the cooking mood is when she better ask for whatever the hell it is that she want to eat when you in the cooking mood. This was nowhere near a cussable offense because Zoe know how to hustle her mom. Mama, I don't want that. I want some nachos.
I had actually offered the nachos earlier because I was like, I didn't think it was gonna be ready, but I forgot about it. I went into making the stuffed peppers and then I just forgot. And when she woke up, she was like, you didn't make the nachos? And I was like, I was getting ready to cuss like this sap tapper here.
But guess what? It was your fault because you forgot. So therefore, this was nowhere near this wasn't even a kind of sort of cussable offense. Jay, what are we doing?
It was cussable because I'm like, come on, really? Out of all of this, who bypasses oxtail stew to get some doggone?
I mean, Jay, kids like what kids like, but you making her some damn oxtail nachos. I want some of them shits. Like, what?
I was gonna do nachos, but then I was like, I can't put that on I didn't have the right chip, so I was like, let's go middle of the road, and we're gonna do oxtail tacos.
I want some oxtail damn tacos, man. I'm trying to see what that be like.
Next time you come home, I got you.
All right,
I got you.
All right. I appreciate that, Jay.
What's going on over in Pop land?
You're gonna have to let me check some of them out. That's what I'm saying. That sounds delicious.
It is.
All right. So as we transition, Miss Lady Jae, to the retired Dad Chronicles, right? That son of mine, man. He gets on my damn nerves from time to time, but sometimes he does things and it just warms my spirit, Jay. It just warms my spirit. So he's playing football, right? And this week I should say, this week is his fall break, right? He's got fall break this week. And he was kind of sick Monday, he was a little under the weather, but he got my immune system, so I thought he would be all right pretty quick. But I took him to practice, and I'm frustrated with him going to practice during fall break, but it is what it is. So I took him to practice on yesterday. and got him to practice, and I get a message from him. He said, "Dad, you got to come get me." And I said, "What's up, dude? Like, I thought you were feeling better." He said, "Nah, Dad, I'm not really feeling I'm not really feeling, still not really feeling too good, and I can't be here, and I'm not feeling well." And I'm like, "Dude, like, I would have just kept you home. You know what I mean? Like, I would have kept you home. It's not, I understood that he wasn't feeling well." And you know what this knucklehead little boy said to me? "Dad, if I don't practice, I can't play, and I wanted you to be able to see me play."
Mm.
Don't you cry. I see it coming. Don't you cry.
That's a sugar baby.
Warmed my spirit. You know what I mean? I wasn't necessarily mad at him, for having to go back to go get him. But it warmed my heart, Jay, because, he's not really getting a lot of playing time. You know what I mean? And you know how horrible I felt. You know what I mean? Because I really didn't want him to play, because I know how much football asks of us. You know what I mean? After playing, I played since like 5th or 6th grade, all the way through elementary school, all the way through high school. And then I was able to play semi-pro when I was in Guam. And I know how much the sport takes from us. And I wanted him to be able to go out and have fun and be a kid. But he decided he wanted to play, and I kind of felt like I set him up for failure. But to hear him try to push through, it made me proud. And I went and got him, and I said to him, I said, "Son, I understand you wanted me to see you play, but I need you to be at your best, because football requires a lot of us." You know what I mean? The running and the tackling and the hitting and the practice, and your friends out kicking it and having fun, but you got practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember those days coming up, Jay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very proud of him. You know what I mean? It kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm doing something right, but I don't want that for him, though. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Like, when you're sick, I want you to be able to take a knee and get better and then stand up. You know what I mean? I don't want you pushing through injuries. I don't want you pushing through pain. You know what I mean? If you're hurt, let me know you're hurt. I mean, yeah, I ain't got the damn letters behind my name, but a lot of the, ailments that we kind of deal with, you know what I'm saying? I kind of got a good idea how to treat it. You know what I'm saying? And people don't look at you like you know what you're doing if you ain't got letters behind your name these days. Even though our parents ain't had no letters but not behind their name, but we probably some of the healthiest people in the world. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want that for him. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to be able to enjoy high school. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember what it was like, everybody getting ready to go out and, hang out together and whatever else on a Friday, and I got practice. Even though it was just helmets and shoulder pads, or helmets and shorts, I got practice. Or I got a game on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, I remember those days. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying,
because we've been best friends for a long time, so I remember you hollering and screaming in the stands. I remember
screaming what?
We'll talk about it offline. I remember
your big old head.
I remember.
Don't get beat up. Don't get knocked down. Get up.
I remember. You know what I mean? I remember. But Jay, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being a helicopter dad a little bit.
Oh.
But I just don't want that for him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I do. At the same time, I'm glad that he had enough intelligence to be like, yeah, I'm not ready. Like, I'm not okay. And to say something. And I'm glad that he cares enough.
No, that's not what happened though, Jay. Basically, his coach told him, like, "E, you sick. You got to go home." He was trying to practice.
I'm sure. Yeah. But we teach what we believe and we replicate who we are. And that's us. We push through it. How many times have I gone to work sick or gone above and beyond sick? And honestly, that's part of our own epigenetic trauma that we were never really allowed to be sick. You got to be sick, sick.
Yeah, and I said it what yesterday or the day before. We old school parents, you got to be sick, sick not to go to school. Yeah,
Man, listen, I was gonna keep Zoe home because after being with her yesterday, having
right.
that day off, I wanted to just keep her home with me and snuggle her. And she's like, "Ma, I got a test tomorrow." I was like,
Yeah, and
"Fooey,"
and you know how I know like he wasn't just talking smack. The kid got home,
and he went to sleep.
got a little bit of food in his belly, got some medicine in his system, and was out. Like I went to my bedroom because you know how the loft is. I went to
Hmm.
my bedroom and he was laying on the couch snoring on the loft, and I could hear him downstairs with the TV going on whatever it was he was watching on YouTube. And I'm just like, I don't want this for him. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be that dad to, I've already held him back long enough to say no, 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 you can't play, but I don't want this for him. But I know on some
Well,
level I gotta let him make some of his own decisions now because I only really got him for 4 more years, Jay, because I think he's gonna go away to school. So I really only got him for 3.5 more years now.
oh, you keep thinking that Zachary just keep calling me and
I mean,
keep
but
calling
Jay
out.
is different. You know what I mean? Because Deja's been gone. You know what I mean? And yeah, I still talk to Deja from time to time, but it's not the same seeing her come down the stairs and hey dad. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same.
You'll be fine. I don't think he gon' mm-mm. No.
But
Now I know
but Jay,
when
hold on,
Zoe
hold on,
leave.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this, and you better not repeat it. You
Oh,
bet not repeat it. You understand me?
oh.
You understand me?
I'm gonna just play it on repeat.
You
It's gonna
bet
be an empty drop.
what I'm finna say to you. You bet not repeat it. Because if you repeat
Hmm.
it, I'm gonna act like I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm stubborn as hell, Jay. I am very stubborn.
Oh,
And
really?
hey, let me get this out before you get to running your dang on mouth. You get on my nerves. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Hmm.
That kid is so damn stubborn. He'll mess around and next year be all state as a sophomore. You know what I'm saying? Because of how stubborn. You know that's what happened in Taekwondo. He got
Hmm.
mad and got focused. And when he got mad and focused, next thing we know, we got a damn state champ. He got
Hmm.
mad and focused, and I can like I say, every cat know his kitten, and I can feel it boiling inside of him because he tired of them treating him like he a scrub. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Every day we having conversations about, because by virtue of me playing football as much as I did, and I can coach a DB, both safety and corner. I can coach a linebacker, both inside and outside. I can coach a defensive line, both inside and outside. I can coach an entire offensive line. I can coach a quarterback. I can coach a receiver. I can coach a running back. I can coach a kicker. I can coach a punter. You know what I'm saying? And every day we having conversations. All right, Dad. So how do I position myself like this? Yada yada yada. And he's chomping at the bit for all the information that I can give him, and I'm not gonna keep it from him. I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give it to him. And he
Of
really wants to
course.
work out with me this summer, and I'm gonna give him all that I got. And the kid is so damn stubborn. He'll mess around and have a scholarship to play ball in college because he's that damn stubborn. Now,
Hmm.
now,
I
before,
wonder where he got
hold
that
on,
from.
hold on, ma'am. You will never hear me say that again, and you bet not damn repeat
Oh, okay.
it.
Okay. You're right. I recorded it, but it's okay.
I
I'm
bet
gonna
not
send a
hear it
copy.
again.
It's okay. I'm gonna just send a copy to Buttercup. That's
Whatever.
okay.
Whatever, Jay. All right, Miss Lady J. Again, it's been a wonderful time talking to you on the show. I'm sure we're gonna talk later after the show. You know what I mean? Because I said you better not repeat it no more. No more. But um, if you would please, Miss Lady J, your final thoughts.
Um. Whew. So I'm gonna start with the heavy stuff. It's so unfortunate that somebody would one have a weapon and be of the mental capacity, diminished mental capacity that they would just take somebody's life in broad daylight. Um, that's horrible. And the fact that it's on the internet like that means that that young man's family is going to have to see that. There will be
Yeah.
no getting around it. I don't know what the full details are, and I'm sure they'll come out in a wash at what was on the phone or whatever, but it's sad. um, we just really got to be mindful about the company that we keep because the young lady that roped him into it, beguiled him, however she did it, or whatever her reasons were. I know that sometimes we just feel like situations happen and it wasn't meant to be um fatal, but you just never really know what's going to happen, what a person's mental state is. And it's sad. Um that we're just not safe. We're not safe from each other. And like the young man in Sarasota, was it?
Yeah.
You just not safe. It take you right back to the Ahmaud Arbery situation. Like I'm just living life. We just can't even just live life and be safe. It's just a sad situation, and I don't know. It's devastating because we talk about moving away and going different places. At this point, there's nowhere to hide. We can't hide from each other as a people, and we can't hide from those that don't desire us to be in their neighborhoods
Right.
because of situations like how we treat each other and just living life. So I don't know. Um, I just really wish that we had a different mentality and a different heart posture towards each other as a community and then just as human beings. Um, the Bears, the
The
Bears.
Bears.
I'm cautiously optimistic and I look forward to what we can do. I mean, we're gonna see how this thing plays out because it's looking like we 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 doing pretty good. So I'm gonna just hold on. I'm gonna keep hope alive. All
Keep
I can
hope
do is
alive.
yeah. Now, as much as you say it wasn't a cussable offense, I wouldn't necessarily been cussing at her. I would have been cussing at me because that baby is rotten, rotten. And I'm starting to think that maybe Zachary didn't do it. Maybe I was the one that spoiled her.
Oh Lord, I've been telling you that for 14 years. How long? That's how old Zoe is, right? I've been telling you that. I've been telling it to you, and you don't want to listen.
Mm, I think it's me. I might be the problem.
Uh huh.
I'm really thinking I just might be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
This whole time I thought it was the boy. Mm.
It wasn't Agatha. It was Jay all along.
You right. You right. Now with my little sweetie pie baby. Oh, him not feel good. Man, I just think that's so dope. Because so many kids, they just be lazy. And I can't even say kids, because when I was working that job and them people would call off for anything. And I get, sometimes you just tired, you need a mental health day, life is happening and all of these other great things. I get it. But for him to want to work through it to make you proud and to gain a skill and all of that, it says something about him that as much as we feel like we just fussing and talking to the moon, these kids are listening. And sometimes they don't really know the right way to navigate the situation because maybe that was the time for him to say, like, hey, I'm really not feeling good. Do you think I should go? At least ask the question. Maybe he just decided, let me go ahead and try it and see what happens. Because
Right.
that's how old school was, man. Even if you were sick, you went into work sick and you let your boss send you home. You didn't call off.
Right.
That's how, man, I can't tell you. I think the whole time I was in the military, I think I only missed duty once because I had the flu, and I had the flu so bad I couldn't even get out the bed and like move around. Had I been able to get out the bed and move around, I definitely would have been, listen, I would have been in first formation, and Top would have had to send me home, but
Right.
I just couldn't make it. And I'm glad that the world is changing where we really starting to say, hey, let's start taking care of ourselves. But that ain't exactly how we was raised. But I think that's just so sweet. And I'm glad you said, I don't want to be that type of dad. And you not. We breaking generational curses with the smallest of things. And I just think that's so dope.
Well, thank you for your final thoughts, Miss Lady J. I think I'm gonna start heavy too. Um, Here's the thing. On some level, we have to stop being so sensitive because this was a situation where you single-handedly destroyed a number of families, right? Because the trauma of the situation to his family, the trauma of the situation to the mother of his child's family, the trauma of the situation of the guy who lost his life's family, and if he had children, that family, and I mean the butterfly wings just ripple, and it touches everybody. Me way here in Arizona, right? Because the thing is that on some level that situation affects me, right? And I'm sure on
Mm-hmm.
some level that situation affects you because of the brass action and just Jay is sad, right? But it's situations like that leads to the situation in Sarasota, right? Because nobody really sees the positive things that we as foundational Black Americans or Black Americans are part of the African diaspora that live in America or ADOS or whatever name we going by this year, right?
Whatever name
We,
we going by this year.
I
That's
mean,
funny.
that's kind of what it is. But we are a wonderful people, but nobody gets to see how wonderful we are because of the BS that's publicized like this, right? So then when we get stuff like that that's publicized, um, that's all people see. They only ever see the bad and the negative in us. They never get around to seeing the good in us, right? And it's sickening to have to continue to try to explain why this situation is the way that it is. It's sickening and it's tiring. And regardless of the situation, unless that young man was committing a crime of some sort, he has every right to walk down whatever street that he wants to walk down, right? And it takes me back to one of my retired Dad Chronicles, right? And there were two separate situations that we discussed. One was a neighbor looking at me crazy, like, what the hell are you doing here? And she happened to look like me.
Mm.
And then the other situation that we discussed was, the cars that would slow down and, peek and see what me and the kids is doing when I was working with Eric during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of those two situations because it's like, I don't look I don't have the military look anymore. Right? I got a head full of hair now. I got a full beard, and I don't necessarily be wearing suits and ties everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm in sweats, I'm in shorts, I'm in t-shirts, I'm in flip-flops, or whatever it is I feel like putting on that day because I'm retired and I can do what I want. But it's situations like these that tend to lead to these other situations, not justifying it because there is no justification for, for someone to be mistreated in my opinion, in any capacity, right? Now, if you're doing something wrong, then you involve law enforcement where necessary, and people have the right to do what they need to be able to protect their homes and their investments, right? But on some level, it's to the point now where it's sickening. It seems like every month it's either one extreme or the other. Either somebody that looked like us is doing something crazy, or somebody that looked like us is being hurt or killed based on what's perceived to be the color of their skin. And it's hard because these are the situations that I had to raise one, and still is and is now mentoring one, and I'm raising another in this world where the color of their skin could be the difference between life and death. And it's hard. It's extremely hard. It's extremely difficult, right? Because the conversation that I had to have with my babies when they were very young is a conversation that we as Black Americans have to have with our children at a very early age. And they looking at me, but why do people hate us, Dad? And the only answer that I could give is I don't know. I don't know. Now, when it comes to you and not cussing, Jay, I'm proud of you for not cussing. It was not even close to being a cussable offense. You know, I am a
Nobody
fair.
asked you that.
Hey, this my turn.
Nobody asked you that.
You know that I am a fair and impartial judge.
Oh, really?
Of you trying not to cuss.
Oh, okay.
You know, am I not fair and impartial, Jay?
We gonna let you have it's whatever you say today.
Am I not fair?
Hey, it's hump day. Whatever you say, sir.
Jay, I'm just saying, man. Like, am I not fair and impartial? I think that I'm fair and impartial, and I don't think it was a cussable offense. And you didn't cuss, and I'm proud of you, Jay. Good job, Jay. I'm proud of you. That's 2 days, 3 days. No, because you cussed Monday, but it was a cussable offense. But, it was not a cussable offense. Yes, you did the spoiling. It's your fault. So you gotta eat that one. You gotta eat that one and feed the baby some oxtail tacos. And I'm trying to see what that's like. You know what I'm saying? Like those sound delicious. Some oxtail tacos, man. Boy, some of the stuff you be putting together, boy, that sounds wonderful. Or some oxtail nachos, but that sounds wonderful, Jay. It sounds wonderful. You gonna keep Are you laughing at me? Lord. I mean, it do, Jay. It sounds delicious. Like I'm trying to get me some of those. When you gonna send me a plate? Put some out on my plate. Hand it here.
I'll come out there. Next trip out there, you and Buttercup can, take a load off. I'll make a meal.
Okay.
I'll make a meal. We all hang out and eat.
We'll see when you get out here. And last but absolutely not least, that young person finds different ways to make me a proud dad, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, man, I'm like, what the hell were you thinking? And then other times it's like, wow, son, wow. Same with my daughter, she finds ways to show me that on some level I did something right. You know what I mean? Because they've both been able to show me their grit and determination. And don't get them kids pissed off, because you piss them off and you tell them they can't do something. Their life's work from that point forward is to prove you wrong. But I need for them to be motivated without the negative aspect of it. I need them to be motivated first, right? Because that motivation prior to somebody telling you can't do something will get you a long way. So I need for them to be motivated without the negative reinforcement. But I'm very proud of my kids. From time to time they make me feel like I did something right. because I'm sure, you yourself as a parent look at different situations and feel like, what did I do wrong in this situation? And why wasn't my child prepared? And what could I have done to better prepare them for this situation? And I feel like that from time to time. And then from time to time, they show me like, yo, we just kids growing up and we got to sometimes get it on our own. They got to get it out the mud themselves. And there was nothing that I could have done as a parent to give them the tools necessary to be successful. And they just needed to fall on their face for this one so that they know within themselves that they can get up and dust themselves off and keep going. Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope for my children, that if they fall 100 times, that they get up 101. And that's what I got, Miss Lady Jae. You got anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Absolutely not.
All right, Miss Lady.
Bye.
This is the Rally Point with me and Miss Lady Jae. If you're trying to get a hold of the show, you can reach us at info.therallypointradioshow@gmail.com. That again is info.therallypointradioshow@gmail.com. If you're not done listening to us talk, you can also swing over to youtube.com. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe to the Sophisticated Spark podcast. That again is the Sophisticated Spark podcast. You can find Sophisticated Spark on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasting from. You can even Google Sophisticated Spark podcast and you'll find us. If you're trying to follow me, I am DJ_YM4 on both Instagram and TikTok. That again is DJ_YM4. If you're trying to follow Miss Lady Jae, you can find her on Instagram and Facebook at Lady Jae Speaks. That again is at Lady Jae Speaks. Thanks for listening to the Rally Point Radio Show. See you next time.